Alrighty, going ahead and recording. All right. Well, welcome everybody to our Going for Gold and Beyond Challenge call. Really excited to have with us on our week number 4, Nicole Kinsler, Diamond Ambassador. She's actually all of our upline. I'm her level 4, so depending on where you guys fall under me, or if you're under Ellie or Danielle, they're her level 3. So you would kind of fall under there. But she's so kind to offer to be with us this week and talk a little bit about attitude and perseverance. So I'm going to be monitoring the chat. So if you guys have questions for her as time goes up or comments, feel free. I'll go ahead and kind of bring those to her attention. And I'm going to go ahead and let Nicole take it away if you want to tell a little bit about yourself and then kind of kick it off.
Sure. Well, guys, I'm so excited to be here with you guys tonight. It means a lot that you're jumping. It means that you really want this business, you want to grow your business, you want to learn as much as possible. So I appreciate that. I also want to thank you guys for just being on my team. I know that I don't know all of you guys personally. Hopefully, if you're coming to convention, you can pull me aside, introduce yourself. But you guys do mean so much to me. I really appreciate, again, all your hard work and the value that you put that you are to my team. So thank you for that. For those of you who don't know me, I'm going to just share a little bit about my background, and then I'll go into just your attitude and perseverance and what that looks like in this business. I'm actually coming up on my 3rd anniversary, which is crazy, the end of May. And I started kind of the same way probably a lot of us started. Just as a customer, took the products for a couple of months, and then I decided to join as an ambassador to get my products at the wholesale price and hopefully sell enough to pay for my products, which is a lot of people's story. My story continues. We have 3 kids. We live in Memphis, but at the time, I was living in Little Rock, Arkansas. My husband and I grew up there, and he worked in a job, lighting design, for 13 years, and then decided to go back to school and become a dentist. So that's kind of just where our journey started, because at that same time as he got accepted to dental school, I was starting to work Plexus, and I really was like, okay, well, maybe Plexus is going to be the answer to help me support my family through dental school. Well, the funny thing is that, like most of us could say, you know, God always knows what we need before we even know that we need it. And I remember going to my first little training. Suzanne Clinton, who's my upline, we were sitting at Starbucks. There were probably 20 of us there, and she said she kind of had a breakdown sheet, and it had her points for that month, Jen's points, and Celeste's points, and then it showed what the pay point value was and then how much their check was. And I remember that was kind of the aha moment for me. And I was like, oh my goodness, if I could just get a portion of those points. At that time, I was probably, I wasn't even silver yet. But I was like, okay, if I could get a portion of those points, that would help me at least not have to get a job. When we moved to Memphis, I could at least stay at home with the kiddos while they were at school and go, pick them up and be that mom. And so I feel like that's kind of when I really the little light bulb switched in my head, and I was like, okay, I'm going to really start working this as a business and see kind of where it goes. So I moved to Memphis, really started working the business. Tamara Holloway, who y'all probably know, she's my level 1, and she joined me and turned me silver. But the thing that a lot of people don't know is that Tamara and I were complete strangers when we joined. When she joined, we had a mutual friend that connected us together, and it kind of just went from there. We're the bestest of friends now, but it's cool to see how you really have no idea when somebody joins your team what's going to happen. And so she started running with the business. I had a few other legs that were kind of trickling in, but it was just hard. I think we're going to talk a little bit about some of my challenges in a second, but I really think that, in network marketing, really any kind of network marketing business, it's just a hard business because you're thrown into a situation with a lot of people that you don't know. You are thrown into being a leader for those people. You're thrown into not being a salesperson, but sharing and getting the word out and getting out of your comfort zone. And so there's a lot of different things that kind of are thrown at you when you start a business like this. So I moved to Memphis, started really growing my business. People around me, though, at the time when I joined, just started like whizzing past me. And one of those was Tamara. And because Tamara was my downline, I had to very early on, had to really say to myself, okay, I'm not going to let friends of mine that are passing me or individuals that were passing me define my journey. I had to say, okay, this is my journey. God has me where I need to be. I'm being diligent in what I'm supposed to be doing my tasks, setting my goals. But my journey is going to look different than other people's. Now, naturally, I am a positive person. I enjoy relationships and being around people. But again, being in this type of business, it kind of throws the ugliness of all of us too, because you are dealing with a lot of attitudes, a lot of confrontation, as well as positive things, but you are having to deal with a lot of that. And so I think the first thing that I would just really encourage you guys with is just kind of drawing a line and saying, okay, no matter what is thrown at me, I need to be reminded constantly that this is my journey. It's nobody else's, and that I will get to my goal as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in the time that God wants me to. So just kind of having that mindset and continuing to remind yourself that is huge. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is attitude, which I kind of just mentioned a little bit about kind of your mindset. But there's two different kinds of attitudes that we're going to talk about. The first one is our attitude towards our own business and how we deal with our attitude in that side. And then also our attitude as we react to our team and how we kind of, I guess, as how our team perceives us to be. So as the first one with our attitude towards our business, it's kind of what I was just talking about, making a decision to understand that this is exactly where I need to be, and I just need to continue to move forward. I think it's Melissa Eichenhorst on one of her calls. She talks about how a horse has, those blinders on, and the reason why that horse has those blinders on are so that they can't see on the side, that they stay focused. And so I think that in this business, we have to continually make sure that we are staying focused and our attitude is staying positive, and that we're really breathing that belief into ourselves and saying, I can do this. Yes, it's hard, but look at what, let's say something positive happened to you. Maybe you got 2 new customers. Well, just continuing to see those moments and kind of, I kind of call my little personal pep talks, like constantly talking to yourself, okay, let's do this. Like you're your biggest cheerleader. Just kind of keep on staying positive, because if you don't have a positive attitude, that's going to kill your business. It's going to kill your joy. And it's going to make your journey so much harder. And I think that when I first started, that's kind of what I was doing. I was just kind of like, this isn't fair. I'm working just as hard as so-and-so. Why am I not growing? Why did they get that person? I should have reached out to that person. It was just kind of this negative kind of was brewing. And I just feel like I needed to kind of draw the line and change my attitude. And I want to tell you that that changed the course of my business. So I want to encourage you to really look at things that and how you react to things and really catch yourself before you kind of go down that negative road. The second thing is your attitude, towards your team. Okay, so if you have one person under you, you are a leader. And you are in charge of that person and helping that person grow and pouring into them. And your attitude, how you react to them or how they see you react to other people, is going to make a big difference in how your team grows. I want to encourage you guys, and I'm the first person to say, I get frustrated when all that stuff with the back office stuff was going on, or I have somebody call me. I just had somebody message me tonight, please turn off my, auto ship. And she was frustrated and angry. She missed 2 products from her last order. And I could have responded like, I know, I'm sorry. I'm so frustrated too. It's so annoying that they don't get it right the first time. Or you can respond and say, I'm so sorry. I know that that's not Plexus's heart, and they are working so hard. So kind of really working on your attitude towards your team members because they are watching you. I like to say that attitudes are contagious. Your team is going to seriously react to the way that you are reacting to them. And so just making sure that the way that your attitude is something that you'd want duplicated on your team. It says here, I wrote down this cute little quote. It says, ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do, and attitude determines how well you do it. And I think that's so true. Our attitude really does determine how well we're going to succeed in this business. We have seen people at the very top completely crumble to the bottom because of their attitude. And so that is so big when you're building your team, and also when you're building yourself and your personal growth. Your attitude is so important. So that's what I was going to say about the attitude. The second, this was a little thing. So I was looking, there was this picture that I saw of a little cat, and then it had like the silhouette of a lion, like a big, like strong lion. And there was a little caption that says, attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. And it just kind of showed how, and I'm such a visual person, so I loved how it showed we might feel like we're a nobody, but our attitude towards a situation or even running a business is really what it's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna make you feel and look like a lion. It's gonna make you feel secure and strong and all those things that you need to be the leader for your team. Okay, so the second thing we're going to talk about is perseverance. Perseverance in this business, it's hard. I still have hard days, that I have to be like, okay, this is, going to be a long day, but we're going to get through it. And you kind of, perseverance, if I look back on my journey, I can tell you those times that was tough, that I wanted to give up, that I was like, okay, I can't do this. Looking back now are the times that I grew the most, that I feel like really has shaped me in being the person and the leader that I am today. Do I have a lot of growth? to still go? Yes, absolutely. I'm the first person to say that I have so much to learn still. But looking back at my journey with Plexus and seeing those really tough times, I can say that persevering and going through those it's made me stronger as a person. So how do you kind of deal with that? Like, how do you persevere when you're going through a struggle? I think one thing is I had a power partner that I kind of got together with, and we kind of worked through things together. I didn't let everybody, who was around me involved in that, because you don't want everybody, but you want somebody to kind of help you process some of the stuff that you're going through. So I want to encourage you, if it's your best friend, mine was Tamara and I think that's part of the reason why we got so close, is that because she was working through some stuff, I was working through stuff, and I felt like we kind of made leaps and bounds together. And it made it also such a sweeter time, and it made our relationship and our friendship so much stronger. But I do think that being on this side of it, and seeing everything, it's pretty cool to see how God used those things in my life to help me become who I am. Okay, a few quotes that I wrote down. You only fail when you stop trying. I was talking to my sister about that. She was my first ambassador, and probably about 3 months ago, she came to me and she said, okay, I'm ready to start working in business. And I was like, woo, I'm excited. But it just took her a while to get there. And that little phrase was at a meeting that she went to, and she was talking to me a couple weeks ago, just how her attitude had changed, and she really felt like that quote, you only fail when you stop trying, just really spoke to her. And that's so true. The only way we do fail is if we just say, I'm done. But if we continue to persevere and to push through those trials, we're not going to fail. We're gonna move closer and closer to that goal. One thing that I've been working on personally is, at the Jewel training not too long ago that I went to, they were talking about our strengths and our weaknesses. And I think that so many times I focus on my weaknesses, and I'm like, okay, how can I make my weaknesses stronger? What can I do to help myself do this better? How can I be like so-and-so? And constantly saying, okay, I need to work on my weaknesses. Now, we do need to work on our weaknesses, but what I've been learning about myself is God's given me gifts and talents that He wants me to use in this business. And I need to start really focusing on those strengths that I have, and not focus so much on the weaknesses, and how I can make those weaknesses stronger. But what I need to do is see my strengths, and really the strengths, how can I make those better? Because those are the ones that, God's given me. I'm a people person. I love people. I love pouring into people. I love one-on-one accountability, that kind of stuff. And so really focusing on that. So I really want to encourage you to really look at what strengths you have, and use those strengths to help you with, bettering your attitude and persevering through the hard times. Because I think that, again, that's going to make you, so much of a better leader. So, okay, that was a lot. I'm sorry, Trisha. But those are just some thoughts on attitude and perseverance. I know 100% if I can be here as a diamond, y'all could totally surpass me, because I am nobody special. And I literally every day, Andrew and I, we just got like our little pay email saying that we get paid on Friday or Sunday. And Andrew and I laugh every time. We're like, what are we doing? Like, this is totally out of my comfort zone, but God has chosen, to use it for his glory. So I'm going to end and then I'll open it up for questions. My son in school, he's been memorizing scripture, and the verse that he's been looking at is James 1:3-4. It says, "Consider it pure joy, my brother and sister, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature, complete, and lacking nothing." I just think that is so cool because that verse really shows what perseverance does. Is it really does help us be complete. It helps us be who we were created to be. So that is it. And I don't know, does anybody have any questions?
Well, it looks like we were getting a lot of comments, but nothing questions yet. But I have a question for you, Nicole.
Sure.
I know I've seen a lot of people bring it up to me, and you went through this where you had a really, really strong leg that was growing fast, and the outside legs weren't growing as fast. Mm-hmm. What did you do to really focus on that to kind of get to that next step? Because I know there's a few people that are really struggling on getting those outside leg points moving.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't really realize the importance of pouring into my outside legs till I was probably senior Ruby. And then I was like, okay, wait, if I'm going to grow any further in this business outside of Tamra, I really have to start focusing on those people. So what I did, because I was so far along in the journey, I actually started a separate Facebook page from Tamra. And it's for my outside legs, and I do different contests. I do different stuff with that leg because that is where my focus needed to be. Now, as you guys being, let's say you do have a strong leg, and let's say you have 5 or 6 that aren't as strong, what I would encourage you to do is to put them in a thread on Facebook and really, until you have enough to do, and you might not ever need 2 separate Facebook groups. My outside legs are significantly different from Tamra's. Like the majority is Tamra, and then I have, at my outside. So it for me, it was a pretty big gap. So you might not ever have that, but if that does happen, what I would suggest is if you are a small team, to do a Facebook group, and so you can really pour into those, because you're going to pour into those people differently than you're going to do your team that's growing and has that leader that's just doing her thing. But I kind of separated them. So depending on where you are in your business, I would encourage either like a thread or a different group, Facebook group.
Yeah, that's a great idea, because I think there's a couple people that, and I think it's right, as I'm glad they're noticing it now, because I know I have somebody that he's not on my team, but somebody that I work with that, he has plenty of points to go senior Ruby, but does not have enough of the outside points, and he's stuck at senior gold.
Yeah.
And so and that was one of the things that, we were just talking about, and I love that idea. Does anyone else have any other questions? I don't want to monopolize all the questions. Nobody's answered. Everybody gets quiet on these calls. I love it. It's like they just want information fed to them. Come on, guys. I feel like I need to call on people like in school. Give us one question. Everyone's saying nope. I love it. So, I don't really think I have any other questions. I think the big thing that everybody wanted to and I was so glad that you were going to do this, is because of the attitude that you have to have through that. I think the scariest part when you're doing this is really having those blinders on. Mm-hmm. It was one of the biggest things I struggled with right before I went Emerald, was watching people go so quickly, and you're thinking, wait a minute, I've been doing this for how long, and it's just now happening? It's like, how are they doing it faster than me? Mm-hmm. And if you do, you start putting that self-doubt in your head. And you can't. I had to get out of some of the threads that I was in and just really focus on what I knew I needed to do. And that's really what it's all about. It's each of our own individual journeys. It's not what the person to the right of you did or the person underneath you or even above you does. It's yours. And I don't care if it takes me, 10 years to get to diamond. I'm going to keep doing what I need to do to get there. And, hopefully it won't take that long, right? But
it won't. It won't. I'm hoping to see you
still, it's like the only thing that stops you is stopping, right? And giving up. And that's really, truly what it's all about. So thank you so much, Nicole, for being with us tonight. I greatly appreciate it. And for those of you who will be at convention, make sure you reach out to Nicole. I know I've got a huge group going. I'm actually got like an 80-person picture, which I'm totally stoked about. And Ellie's got a big group and Danielle's got a big group. So super exciting.
Which I want you guys to know, all 3 of those are now emerald, which I am like stoked about. So y'all need to go like, I saw on your like group page, it said senior ruby, senior ruby, senior ruby. It needs to be like emerald. It's like huge. That's awesome.
I know, it's crazy because it's, we took a picture last year at convention and it was Lisa Klein, Danielle Gates, Ellie, and myself, and we were all senior rubies. And this year at convention, we're all emeralds. So
it's
super
so
exciting. Yes, super exciting. And couldn't have been here without all of our team. So thank you guys all. And thank you so much, Nicole. You've been a blessing with us tonight. And we will see you all again soon.
Bye.
Have a great night.